back to our draft rankings for 2024. And coming in, number 59, we are going to the QMJHL, where we are talking about Raoul Boilard. And he's a centerman for the Drakkar in Baie-Comeau, 6'1", 188 pounds. And Pilsy, this guy's got a pretty impressive highlight reel of moves in the Q.
Yeah, Raoul Boilard. I got to work on my French pronunciation, so I hope I nailed that one. Boilard. He's an exciting player, Ross. He had 22 goals, 40 assists, good for 62 points in 68 games. So nearly a point per game guy. He had 8 points in 17 playoff games. He really fell off, unfortunately, in the second round. They got swept. He had no points in that second round. And something that I found very interesting about Boilard, you almost never see this, a French-Canadian kid that goes to play in the BCHL and then comes to the Q after. He had some success in the BCHL, played for 2 teams in the previous season, 22 points in 48 games, and then he got a handful of games in the BCHL playoffs. But I don't know about you, Ross, but I don't think I've ever heard of a French-Canadian going to the BCHL, then back to the Q. So I'd love to hear kind of the story behind that for Boilard.
Yeah, we had that one kid last year who was drafted to Carolina ultimately, but he went to the NCAA, and we see that route where you go play junior hockey. He was a New Brunswick kid, if I'm not mistaken. But
Okay.
they've had routes like that. But it is interesting to see him just come back this year for his draft year in the Q. And what did he do? Not only did he kind of jump onto the scene, lead all rookies in scoring in the league, but he jumped onto the scene in terms of the national coverage when he went out and won player of the game at the Team Red versus Team White top prospects game,
Yep.
where he had 2 goals and an assist in a 3-1 win. So he was in on all goals, was able to show that there's a lot of offensive upside. And if you're drafting Raoul Boilard, you're looking at him to continue to round out the rest of his game because he's got sick hands. The hockey IQ is elite for me, for him, just in terms of being able to hold on to pucks, and not only hold on, but you mentioned that in a lot of his highlights, he's bouncing off of guys. So that shows that he can use his teammates for quick plays.
Yeah, definitely. I would highly recommend anyone, if you get a chance, anything David St. Louis does from Elite Prospects, I'm always really interested in, especially I find he breaks down film really well in a way that's digestible for a fan to be able to understand what he's talking about. And St. Louis had one clip of Boilard in the offensive zone, and it's like a 45-second clip. And Boilard is just skating around doing laps. But what he does is, when a defender comes to attack him, he pivots his body so that now he's protecting the puck, and he gives a one-touch pass to his teammate, and they give it right back to him. So it tricks the defender into being like, ooh, do I have to switch to the guy he just passed to? And then he goes to make that switch, and while he's making that switch, Boilard already has the puck back, and he's doing another lap. He's going again. And then he waits, finds a spot where he can give it to a teammate, and then finds soft ice, and then he gets the pass and scores. Like, just really impressive stuff to, like, he's playing chess while people are playing checkers. He knows when he dumps it off to the guy in the corner, he's going to get it back in the other corner 15 seconds later. Like, it's very impressive, the pace that this guy plays with, and the way he's able to protect the puck and keep the play going with those constant give and goes is really impressive.
How much do you worry that the offense, at least in terms of goals, really dried up towards the end of the season? Just 1 goal in his last 10 games and only about 4 goals in his last 20.
Yeah, certainly things kind of fell off for him as the season went on. And like I mentioned, that second playoff round, no points as they got swept. That is the one thing I'm concerned about with Boilard, because he has so much skill. But if he's not able to get these really creative plays clicking, I think he's just going to get shut down, and he's not going to be able to play a meat and potatoes type of game and just rip one from the dot and score, right? Like,
Or like the blue line. I saw a couple of wrist shots from the blue line that found a way in.
That's the thing, yeah. But it's kind of similar to Tim Stützle when he was in his early development, right? Like, Tim Stützle would drive me insane doing 5 dekes around an attacker in his own blue line and losing it when he could have just chipped it off the boards and out. Like, it's one of those things where, sure, in the QMJHL, you can get away with that. But go to the AHL, the NHL, defensemen are not going to fall for that trick when they've seen tape on you and they've had assistant coaches be like, hey, when Boilard has the puck in the ozone, you got to watch for him to do this. Teams and players are going to pick up on that, and they're going to find ways to shut that down. So my concern here is that as he progresses, the things he's able to do, he won't be able to do at another level, and he's going to have to find a way to change his game.
A wide range between Craig Button at 38 and Bob McKenzie at 74 with TSN on their rankings. McKean's Hockey has him at 39 and Elite Prospects at 56, right on the average we have of 51.8. Now, I would call him a bit undersized. I think he can grow into that 6'1" frame a little bit more and have that sturdy, steady base so that he can hold on to pucks and be able to take contact, especially around the lower part behind the net, and be able to create extended offensive zone possession. And the defense, I think, needs to continue to improve as well. Simplification would be how I would describe his next step in development, but the high-end talent, the flashes of it, are there. When it comes to the Ottawa Senators, out of 5 stars, Pilsy, where does Raoul Boilard stack up?
So I gave Boilard 3.5 stars. I see the potential here, Ross. And I think with some development, he's going to be able to find different ways to play the game. I think he's going to I hope if he's going to have success, he's going to simplify his game. But when he notices pockets of space, he's going to make defenders look silly, and he's going to have goalies looking for the jock strap in the rafters, because when he's on breakaways, he's got confidence. So I believe in him as a player, but 3.5 stars. I like him as a player. Don't necessarily think he's going to fit with the Sens organization, and I'm not sure what range he's going to end up in, and I don't think he's a guy that the Sens are going to target.
I would be happy if my team takes him anytime after the second round or to the end. I think he's going to be around 60 to 65 on mine when it's all said and done. But Raoul Boilard comes in at number 59 on the Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings. For more prospect profiles, you can check us out at Locked On Senators.